Up until recently, I've always been the person who doesn't buy stuff if the packaging is way too extra. It's one thing when it's useful packaging like sturdy or sleek, but when the packaging is way too extravagant, it's when it throws me off. Because I've learned with Pat McGrath that bulky packaging is quite inconvenient for me and the weight is not optimal in use. It just feels nice, but it can make it harder to use, and the makeup remains the same at the end of the day. So when brands like Flower Nose started popping on my radar with their Lord Coco collection, I knew it was not something I'd be interested in, especially because their embossing is so pretty that I'd be afraid to even touch it. Like, I don't know how people can use stuff on florists, cause it feels like the embossing is way too detailed for my comfort. Using something like that would be impossible for me because I would feel like I'm ruining a masterpiece with my grubby little fingers. But yeah, I know that's a me problem. But my whole mindset has been challenged since I saw this collection being teased. I've been wanting to try Chinese Beauty for a while, but I haven't found the right brand. And then Flower Nose returns to my radar with the most extra packaging I've ever seen, which is loosely based on Gothic architecture. Sold. Just sold right there. I didn't even bother to check the inside that much. It could have been all yellow makeup and I would still have bought it because the packaging is just the prettiest thing that I've ever seen. And yeah, that's just me letting myself get too invested into a collection because I was so excited seeing these. It was the one release that had me waiting for it to drop just to be able to shop it. And that just doesn't happen with me, not these days anyways. I will now stop raving about the packaging, but just in case I didn't make it obvious, I bought this as the perfect excuse to finally try Chinese Beauty because I see it get much hype online. They had my curiosity, but this caught my interest. So let's put this to the test. Now I'm going to swatch Weeping Angel just to see how it goes. And the formulas at the top are very sparkly, kind of like a topper shade. They don't really have a base except the blue one obviously. And the light shades are quite sheer actually. I'm like medium light skin. I don't know how people with medium to deep skin would fare with this. So yeah, I would say if you're interested in these and have medium to deep skin tone, really look for some other reviews with a deeper skin tone because on me, I'm already having to struggle a little to make them show up. And I'm not sure if it's because they're buildable rather than pigmented or because they just lack the pigment and wouldn't work for deeper skin tones. I didn't realize that I wasn't recording, so here are these. And this palette, as you can see, it's quite neutral leaning. You have your crease shades, then your shimmery shades, and the deepening shades. Again, this palette to me feels very light, at least on my skin tone. This is actually reminding me a lot of Natasha's I Need a Nude, so I'm going to compare it later on. I made this look with the cool leaning shades from the Eden's Angel palette. It's very simple but sparkly. And this is 8 hours later with my night light. And as you can see, there was minimal fallout, so I was very impressed with this one. Next, I repeated the look with different shades just to see how much difference it made. And yeah, they look pretty similar as I would expect. This one also had very little fallout, so color me impressed with this formula. And here's a look with the Weeping Angel palette. I just used the blue to create a halo eye and put the top shade at the center. And here it is after 10 hours. There's a bit of creasing and fallout, but not too much, I would say. Here's another look with the Weeping Angel palette. I had to go over with a purple shade a few times just to make it show up, so it's a buildable formula, not a pigmented one. And here's the same look 10 hours later. I experienced a bit more fading with this one than with all the other shades, so there's that. I wanted to see how Space Cowboy compares to all of these shades, and as you can see, it's way more scattered than the rest. It's a little less impactful than the other two shades, but it's quite comparable to the first one. Here's the Eden's Angel compared to the Natasha Denona I Need a Nude. I couldn't find anything similar to this one gray shade, but I also wanted to point out that these pens are tiny even in comparison to Natasha Denona's mini palettes. I mean, are you seeing them? Anyways, here's the actual comparison, and as you can see, they're so spot on. Eden's Angel is slightly cooler, but the vibe is so spot on. Natasha Denona offers more formulas, but their colors are a bit redundant, so like these palettes have the same problem in my opinion, and that is that they're way too nude. But that is not a problem if these tones are the ones you enjoy. And lastly, I just wanted to grab this shade from Midnight Sun because it reminded me a lot of the top shade from the Weeping Angel palette. And as you can see, it's so freaking similar. I would say Pat McGrath's it's like 10% sparklier, but you can barely tell the difference in real life. If I had the Mothership one, you know I would be comparing it, but I don't, so these will do. I wanted to point out that the packaging is not metal, it's plastic, but it has some weight to it. Also, it's very easy to get it dirty, so yeah, keep that in mind. I wouldn't blame you if you're like me and you want to have both of these just to see them together and to have more from this packaging. But I would recommend that you really think, do you use color or not? If the answer is no, then you can skip Weeping Angel. And if you do, then I totally recommend Weeping Angel way more than the other one, because it's a little bit more impactful and has more variety. Like if you grab just the neutral shades at the bottom, I think you can create many looks that you would with the Eden's Angel. Eden's Angel has a lot of redundancy within it, but remember that it performed better than Weeping Angel. So basically, your looks are going to be similar, but they're going to be a very reliable look. But also, I struggled to make some of these shades show up, so I don't know how they would perform on a deeper skin tone. And that goes for both palettes. So I think it goes without saying that these aren't meant to be utilitarian pieces of makeup, they're meant to be pretty. And you either like that or you don't. I don't think anyone can sell you in or out of these. I think many people have already made up their mind just by looking at this. I actually bought the powder knowing that I'll use it daily, because I just went through one of these big ones from Catrice and I thought it would be cool to have some cute packaging which could be reused. Hopefully this will help me get over ruining embossing. Some people may say that this is too extra or that they don't like the design, but you know, to each their own. Personally, I'm very happy with my purchase because I knew that I wanted something with pretty packaging and that's exactly what I got. In terms of formula, I like their shimmers way more than I do their mattes. Their mattes are underwhelming, but their shimmers are pretty good. So yeah, those were my thoughts on my first time trying Flower Nose. Where do you stand on this issue about packaging? Are you like me just a few months ago, like there's no way I would buy something because of the packaging? Or are you like me now, entering this very dangerous phase of liking pretty things? I wonder if I've just opened the Pandora's box and I'm going to start buying all the pretty things that I see. I think there will be signs if that starts happening. But anyways, that's all for me for now. Thank you for watching and have a lovely day.